Hello everyone, my name is Kinetic and welcome back to Diablo 3 Reaper of Souls. In today's video I'm going to show you a quick variation of the Multishot build that I'm running. This one is for Greater Rift farming. The recent video that I did for Demon Hunter was the Multishot build, and it's almost the exact same build, but that was for regular Rift farming. And so it might not seem like there's a difference, but I thought there is enough difference, and I can go into some little details about what the differences are between the two builds. But first, let's actually go ahead and take a look at some of the gameplay for this build. Recently I did a Greater Rift 53 clear, and I can easily see, and I've seen other people with very similar builds pushing into Greater Rift 60 plus with this build. Typically, I want to say that the Multishot build works best in groups. It's certainly possible that you can go ahead and push really high with a Multishot build, but I believe that the Natalia's Strafe build is the current highest leading for leaderboards and solo Grift runs. But for group runs, I think the Multishot does better. But either way, here is some solo gameplay of me clearing the Greater Rift level 53 and the Multishot build.
Are you strong enough to survive the trials?
I must heal. I am losing strength.
Our opponents may be strong, but I will not stand down.
I wish I could do that.
I like to think the world is safer now.
I'm injured. I feel better now. That was just a taste! I am losing strength! hatred to do that. Not enough hatred.
Your fear betrays you! I wish I could do that.
I feel better now. My hatred is too low.
Sweet revenge! I grow weak!
We must wait longer.
Not ready yet. I need healing! I must heal!
I am renewed. Not enough hatred.
I grow weak! I wish I could do that.
Our opponents may be strong, but I will not stand down.
The Rift Guardian is here.
Alright, so let's go over the details really quick. Like I said, this is probably going to be very familiar to a lot of you because a lot of people are using almost the exact same build for Multishot, and it's also very similar to what I used in the past. It really comes down to the skills that makes it different. So let's go over the gear really quickly. Yang's Recurve, absolute must-have for Multishot. Dead Man's Legacy, also a must-have. Using 6 pieces of the Unhallowed Essence build. Focus and Restraint for the rings. Wraps of Clarity. I've seen these actually used both for the Unhallowed Essence build and also for the Natalia's Strafe build because, well, they're very flexible in that they give you that extra defense regardless of what skills that you're using. So this isn't like tied to Multishot in any way. Neither really is the Hunter's Wrath, but I definitely want to say that more people are using this for Multishot than they are for the Natalia's, and that's because of the Reign of Vengeance for Natalia's. But Hunter's Wrath, and I've seen people continuously ask about this, not just on my videos, but in other places around the interwebs. Why is Hunter's Wrath so good? How can it be better than, for example, the Witching Hour, which gives us increased critical hit damage? And, well, it's really simple. The amount of hatred that we're spending from Multishot means we are draining our resources really quickly. Our primaries are, of course, a means of getting back our hatred, and if we can shoot it faster, that means we're getting our hatred back faster. It means we can get back to multi-shotting faster, and that's exactly why Hunter's Wrath is so good. We can attack 30% faster with our primary skill, which means we are generating our hatred back very, very quickly with this belt. I know it's skeptical. Many of the pros were very skeptical as well about Hunter's Wrath and how good it was, but it definitely the best belt for a multi-shot build. The legendary gems that I'm using are, of course, Bane of the Trapped, the Teguk, and also the Zay's Stone of Vengeance. Now, the Hellfire Amulet is not something that I had before, but I gotta say, having a Hellfire Amulet is so good. Having one more passive, and in this case, Blood Vengeance, has really helped to make it easier for me to spend even more hatred and regenerate that hatred back very quickly because of this passive for my multi-shot. Let's go over the rest of the passives really quick while we're at it. Ballistics is a really good passive for your homing rockets, which we are casting from a variety of sources, including our multi-shot. Every time you fire, 3 rockets are launched at nearby enemies. That's also really important, and what makes the ballistics and the rockets so powerful is it helps you clear out enemies that are pestering you. Like those assassins, for example, and other enemies that are just constantly in your face. They're going to take even more damage because they are so aggressive, so it makes it really nice and helpful for clearing out enemies that you don't want nearby. Cull of the Week, increasing damage against slowed or chilled enemies. We are getting slow, for example, from Entangling Shot and Justice is Served. This is a nice change, I think, because of a few different reasons. It gives us a very good amount of hatred, does very good at slowing enemies, just like Evasive Fire and Focus, except that Evasive Fire and Focus is a cold rune, and we're running a fire build, so I think we get a little bit more performance out of Entangling Shot with Justice is Served, because it is a fire rune, rather. Vengeance with Seethe, this is what I like to call the wiggle skill. You can take it or you can leave it. There's really a lot of nice alternatives to Vengeance with Seethe. I take it personally because I really like the rune and gaining 10 hatred per second while this is active. I mean, it's an increase in damage by itself. The skill gives us a really nice amount of additional damage, but during this time, because of the gain 10 hatred per second, man, I just spray the hell out of Multishot during the entire time. Unless I'm going to dodge for some reason, I'm pretty much just laying out as much Multishot as I want at this point. And so that's why I take it, because it's fun, it's very powerful. If you are looking for something else, some other kind of utility, for example, maybe you're looking for more crit hit chance, maybe a little bit more control, than Caltrops with the Bait the Trap is really nice. I can, for example, if I happen to be safe enough that I can stand in one place for a certain amount of time, then I can go from, for example, 52 crit hit chance to 62 crit hit chance simply by standing on this Caltrop right here. I will say this though about Caltrops, it's really something you have to be careful with because it is costing you discipline. It's only costing you 3 discipline, even though it says 6 here. Because of our gear, it's only going to cost us 3 discipline actually. If you can prepare yourself, like maybe, for example, Convention of Elements is about to swing into the fire aspect, and you're about to unload a bunch of Multishot during that time, then putting down the Caltrop, getting that increased crit hit chance is going to be really good, but it can also be a pain in the ass if you happen to have to be on the move a lot, and there's all sorts of reasons why we need to move around a lot with our Demon Hunter, especially during elite fights. There's Frozen, Molten, Lightning, all sorts of different things that are going to mean you're going to have to move out of the way, and so you'll probably have to cast another Caltrop because of that reason. But it's there, it's really good, a lot of people will praise it, and it's really up to your playstyle more than anything. Marked for Death is also a really nice alternative for gaining hatred. Attacks you make against the marked enemy generate 4 hatred. So if we are, for example, attacking with our primary on an enemy and they are marked for death with mortal enemy, then that's actually going to give us 10 hatred back for every time that they get hit. Whether it's a primary or whether it's a multi-shot hit, that's still going to be hatred generated, which is really nice for helping you to maintain a high hatred pool. Next up we have Companion with Wolf Companion. I actually messed around with this a bit, trying out the Wolf versus the Bat. The Bat can be really nice as well, especially if you don't have a Hellfire Amulet with Blood Vengeance. If you are struggling with hatred, this is a really nice alternative and a means of getting back a lot of hatred very often actually, especially if your cooldown reduction is fairly high. Preparation with Invigoration, this is absolutely irreplaceable right here for permanently increasing our maximum discipline. And Volt with Trail of Cinders, I wouldn't take, for example, in regular Rift farming, but for Greater Rifts, because we are pushing higher and higher difficulties, way above Torment 10 difficulty, having Volt is simply a really great escape tool, of course, for Demon Hunters. And since it is fire, it's made even cheaper because we are running with the actually, I forgot, didn't I? I forgot to mention that Cinder Coat is in the Kanai Cube, reducing the cost of fire skills, which our Volt is now, by an additional 30%. For the Kanai Cube weapon, Calamity, enemies you hit become marked for death. You may wonder if this clashes or maybe is redundant with the thing that I was talking about before. Instead of Vengeance having marked for death with the mortal enemy. No, it doesn't actually. They actually both count at the same time, which is quite nice. And Convention of Elements for our ring. You can go with Unity if you want to, but honestly, Convention of Elements is where it's at. I mean, if you want, you can start with Unity, just kind of like as a warming up point if you're not used to Multishot for Demon Hunter, and then move into Convention of Elements. You'll really want to. Eventually, you don't want Unity here in this slot for your Multishot build. You just lose so much damage by not having this in your ring slot. Let's go back to the skills. So we went over all of the active skills. There were a couple of passives. Awareness, this is our cheat death skill, and Ambush, which is fantastic for dealing additional damage to bring enemies down below, as soon as we can, below that 60% threshold. Sorry, for Dead Man's Legacy. The sooner we can bring them down, the better, because Multishot will then hit twice for the amount of hatred that we're spending, which is fantastic. That's it for the breakdown of the Multishot Greater Rift build that I'm running for Demon Hunters here in patch 2.3. I really prefer this build over the Natalia's Strafe build. Again, if I want to spin around, I'll go for Barbarians and a Whirlwind build. I really like Multishot. I really like the way it plays. It's very powerful. It's awesome in groups, and yeah, just tons of fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about the things that I mentioned here about Multishot builds here for Demon Hunters, then let me know in the comment section below. Click the like button to support these build videos here for Demon Hunters and other classes in Diablo 3 right here on the channel, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.